For years, the case of Jeffrey Epstein has remained one of the most disturbing and controversial scandals in modern American history. Epstein, a wealthy financier, was accused of running a large-scale sex trafficking operation involving underage girls and powerful individuals. His arrest in 2019, followed by his death in a federal jail cell, raised serious questions about accountability, transparency, and justice. Since then, the public has repeatedly demanded answers. Who enabled Epstein? Who knew about his crimes? And why did it take so long for authorities to act? In December 2025, the U.S. Department of Justice released a long-awaited collection of documents related to Epstein, often referred to as the Epstein Files. These records were released under the Epstein Files Transparency Act, a law passed by Congress to force the disclosure of unclassified federal records connected to Epstein's criminal investigations. The release was expected to bring clarity. Instead, it has sparked controversy, political backlash, and renewed distrust in government institutions. The Justice Department published thousands of pages of material, including investigative reports, photographs, flight logs, and evidence gathered over multiple years. On paper, this marked one of the most significant disclosures ever made in relation to the Epstein case. However, many of the documents were heavily redacted. Entire sections were blacked out. Names, locations, dates, and context were often removed, leaving readers with fragmented information. According to the Justice Department, these redactions were necessary. Officials cited legal obligations to protect the identities of victims, maintain grand jury secrecy, and avoid compromising ongoing or related investigations. The department also stated that the sheer volume of records required careful review before public release. Despite these explanations, the response from lawmakers was swift and critical. Members of Congress from both major political parties accused the Justice Department of failing to meet the intent of the transparency law. While the law requires the release of unclassified records, lawmakers argued that excessive redactions effectively undermined the purpose of disclosure. Some members also criticized the department for admitting it would miss the deadline set by Congress for full release. The DOJ acknowledged that not all documents would be released at once and promised additional batches in the coming weeks. This delay has fueled speculation and frustration. One of the most sensitive aspects of the released files involves references to high-profile individuals. The documents include photographs and mentions of well-known political figures, wealthy donors, and public personalities who were socially connected to Epstein over the years. It is important to be clear. Appearing in these documents does not mean someone committed a crime. Many references reflect social interactions, travel records, or indirect associations rather than evidence of wrongdoing. Still, the presence of powerful names has reignited public debate and online speculation. For critics, the redactions raise concerns about whether influential individuals are being shielded from scrutiny. For others, the situation highlights the difficulty of balancing transparency with legal responsibility. Beyond politics and public figures, survivors of Epstein's abuse remain central to the story. Reactions among victims and advocacy groups have been mixed. Some survivors welcomed their release as a long-overdue acknowledgement of the case's importance. Others expressed disappointment, arguing that partial disclosure feels like another form of silence. For many victims, justice is not just about documents. It is about accountability and recognition of the harm caused. The Epstein case also raises broader questions about how power functions within society. Epstein was able to avoid serious consequences for decades, despite repeated allegations. The Justice Department maintains that it is acting within the law and that more documents will be released after proper review. Lawmakers are considering further oversight, including hearings and potential legal challenges. As additional documents are expected in the coming weeks, the story is far from over. The Epstein files represent unanswered questions about corruption, secrecy, and accountability. Until the full truth is known, the case will continue to demand public attention.